that there was 34.7 million cash given to Cristina Corona. I understand that is the purpose.
No, that it was received by Mrs. Corona in trust.
In trust for,
So
precisely.
is it hers? Even if we follow your logic, Your Honor, is
No,
it
I'm not
hers?
saying it is hers.
Oh, precisely. So why will he be
Precisely.
Why will the husband be accountable for that? Very unfair.
Let us keep cool.
Like the season finale of a series, it's a cliffhanger ending to a trial that has dragged on for 3 months. 34 days, dramatic episodes, and galactic blood pressures later, lawyers of Chief Justice Renato Corona begin explaining the source of their client's money. Their defense zeroes in on Basa-Guidote Enterprises, the family corporation of Corona's wife, and the subject of a telenovela-like family feud. Defense counsels present former Manila Mayor Lito Atienza, who testifies on the sale of the company's so-called crown jewel, a lot in Sampaloc, Manila, back in 2001. Atienza says he entered into a sale with the company's agent, Mrs. Corona, and even her husband was part of the negotiations.
Pinakita ko pa ho yung kopya ng expropriation. And as a lawyer, sabi niya kung maaari naman, huwag na natin paabutin dyan. Alam ko consequences ng expropriation.
Atienza says Mrs. Corona showed a certificate authorizing her to enter into the sale and to receive a 5% commission of the total price. That price was 34.7 million pesos, paid by the city government of Manila through a cheque issued to Cristina Corona in trust for Basa-Guidote. This triggers questions from the prosecution and senator judges.
Why did the City of Manila pay the money to
represented po siya.
Cristina Corona instead of Basa Enterprises?
Yun po naman sa security rin po nung transaksyon at nung cheque. Somebody has to be responsible. We don't know Basa-Guidote Enterprises.
The theory of the prosecution is that it was misappropriated. Misappropriated by Cristina Corona, deposited in her personal account.
Senator Ralph Recto cuts to the chase and tries to make sense of the amount in relation to past testimonies on Corona's bank accounts.
My recollection is, though you can correct me if I'm wrong, December 12, there was a withdrawal,
That's correct.
roughly the same amount.
You're making a summation of facts, but solely on the basis in favor of one party. Why? Because there is no evidence yet on the part. We have never discussed about these deposits, Your Honor.
The defense says the Chief Justice took a loan of 11 million pesos from Basa-Guidote to pay for the La Vista property. But how exactly the money ended up there after the Manila City government issued the check is still unclear.
It's a long way to argue still that that was the money which was in Chief Justice's accounts. They have to answer why it found its way to the Chief Justice's account. That's commingling if it's corporate property, no?
There is really no clear evidence to show that first it was deposited in the account of Mrs. Corona, and second that it was indeed Mrs. Corona's account. No? Ang nakalagay lang naman doon, yung account number, may pangalan siya doon, at yung branch ng land bank.
Senator judges aim to use the break to evaluate the arguments and evidence of the two camps in preparation for the final stretch of the trial.
The trial goes on break but still leaves unanswered questions on Corona's bank deposits. The defense asks for time and patience to lay down its case. But after 6 weeks, the impeachment court, the prosecution, and the public want to see the climax of this proceeding, an explanation on the peso and dollar accounts under the name of the country's top judge. Ayee Macaraig, Rappler.